We are discussing a serious issue. The issue of the views of 8 crore Tamil people, which is being expressed in various ways, including demonstrations and protests by students. And I do not think it's fair to bring in other issues into the issue that is now under discussion, namely the Sri Lanka issue.
Yes, please.
Sir, जब आपसे बातचीत हो रही थी तो आपने
just Sanjay, please, let's give somebody else a chance.
Sir, after the withdrawal of support by DMK, sir, how comfortable government will be to forward its legislative agenda in the parliament, particularly on reforms like land acquisition bill, food security bill, or FDI in insurance and the pension sector? And a hypothetical question, will you favor early polls in case you fail to push your legislative agenda?
No, only yesterday we passed a very, very important bill, the Criminal Law Amendment Bill. Only yesterday. And today I'm confident that the Rajya Sabha will return the appropriation bill and the Jharkhand budget will be returned by the Rajya Sabha. We have a legislative agenda lined up. The Minister of Parliamentary Affairs has legislative business for the next couple of days. All these bills are necessary for the country. All these bills are necessary to take the economy forward. And I'm sure on the merits of each bill, there will be enough political parties who will come forward to support the government and pass the bills. We have no doubt that each one of these bills stands on its own merit and will be passed on its own merit.
Aditi, please. Just 1 minute, I'm coming to Aditi. Aditi, please.
Some in the government also are suggesting that perhaps the timing of the DMK is suspect, given that the voting in the UNHRC is only on the 22nd of March. So why now? So many questioning whether this is just getting ready for early elections, given that some of your allies have pulled out and some who are still there, whether outside the government as well, are asserting themselves more.
That's not correct. That's not correct at all. That's all I can say very briefly.
Minister,
सरकार को कोई खतरा नहीं है, पार्लियामेंट में किसी ने आपके खिलाफ कोई प्रस्ताव भी पेश नहीं किया, लेकिन आपकी जो सरकार की इमेज है वो लगातार सहयोगियों के बाहर जाने से खराब नहीं हो रही है, या और कोई सहयोगी आप नई सरकार में लाएंगे?
देखिए, सहयोगी को सरकार में लाने का अभी प्रश्न नहीं उठा है। अगर कोई आना चाहेंगे हम चर्चा करेंगे, पर ये जो आपने छवि की बात करी, इमेज की बात करी, ये भी सही नहीं है, क्योंकि छवि सरकार के कार्यों से होती है, सरकार की नियत और नीति से होती है, और इसकी पहचान आम जनता में है। तो हमें इस बात की कि इमेज खराब हो रही है क्योंकि डीएमके चली गई, डीएमके ने सपोर्ट विड्रॉ कर ली, मैं नहीं मानता इसका कोई संबंध है।
Mr. Chidambram, I have a question about what my colleague asked in a slightly different way. You are now on more crutches than you were previously, and a person on more crutches is usually more weak. So I'm just wondering if, and foreign investors and others are also asking us and others, whether the appetite for reform in government is now dulled, not just through the legislative route, but also you yourself said that FDI caps are going to be increased in some sectors. There are going to be other things that you're going to do. It's true that you have a numerical majority, but you don't, you are weaker than you were previously.
This is a wrong perception. Government functions through making laws as well as through executive action. The division between making laws and executive action is quite clear in the Constitution. Now, we are in government. We have a duty to steer the ship, even if there is a mild storm in the sea. And we have our hand firmly on the wheel. We will continue to take decisions. We will continue to push for legislation. Only yesterday, the Cabinet cleared the food security bill. Now, if you think that the government is weak, do you think we could have pushed the food security bill yesterday? The bill will be introduced in Parliament, and I'm absolutely confident, as I said to an earlier question, there will be enough support in Parliament to pass each bill, because each of these bills stands on its own merit and deserves to be passed on its own merit. As far as executive action is concerned, only this morning, the ministers approved disinvestment in SAIL. So we are taking executive action. We are pushing bills. I don't see us as any weaker today than what we were yesterday. Yes, it is true, one ally has withdrawn support. But as my colleague said, the government enjoys a majority and the government will continue to do its duty. The government will continue to take executive action and the government will continue to push for legislation in Parliament.
मैडम, मेरा एक सवाल है.
See, this question doesn't arise. As my colleague said, we have a majority in the House, we are a stable government, and nobody has questioned our stability, except few voices in the media, and don't add your voice, that's what I can say.
Yes,
मैडम,
Sanjay, please.
एक सवाल है. आप कमलनाथ जी ने भी कहा कि मनीष जी, लेम डक ये हमारी सरकार नहीं है. कल से आप लगातार कहते आ रहे हैं कि आंकड़ों के लिहाज से हम बहुत स्टेबल हैं, लेकिन जब हम लोग बातचीत कर रहे हैं 10:30 बजे का समय दिया गया है, 5 मंत्री भी अपना इस्तीफा दे रहे हैं. ऐसे में एक सवाल है जो कि आपसे करना चाहूंगा, वो ये कि क्या किसी प्रादेशिक दल के इंसिस्टेंस पर आप विदेश नीति में चेंज करने को तैयार हैं, जैसा कि अब आप करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि इसके पहले आपको जरूरत नहीं पड़ी थी श्रीलंका के मामले में यूएन में एक रेजोल्यूशन में अमेंडमेंट्स लाने की. पहली बात. और दूसरी बात, क्या आपके दरवाजे नए दोस्तों के लिए खुले हुए हैं?
देखिए, जहां तक आपके पहले सवाल का ताल्लुक है, बहुत साफ तौर से ये बात निरंतर और लगातार कही गई है कि जहां तक भारत की विदेश नीति या कूटनीति का सवाल है, जो भारत का राष्ट्रहित है उसको सामने रखते हुए हम फैसला करते हैं. पर कहीं पर अगर ये जरूरत पड़ती है कि भारत के किसी प्रदेश की जनता की आशाओं और आकांक्षाओं को या उनकी भावनाओं को ठेस पहुंची है और उसको उजागर करने की जरूरत है, तो एक संवेदनशील सरकार होने के नाते ये भी हमारा उत्तरदायित्व बनता है और उसके ऊपर बातचीत जारी है. और जैसे कि पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर ने कहा कि हमने 9 साल से और बहुत सफलतापूर्वक एक कोएलिशन सरकार चलाई है और लोकतंत्र में जो दरवाजे और खिड़कियां हैं वो सदा खुली रहती हैं.